How would you like to have a job that requires you to travel to interesting places, be reimbursed for all your expenses, and still receive your regular salary? There are such positions available if you have acquired the skills needed for those jobs. Of course, a travel agent is the most common profession that provides free travel excursions to tourist destinations. However, there are other professions that, out of necessity, include travel to many interesting places. The Humanities Mass Communication Department at Norwalk Community College presents The New Directors, the show that introduces you to television's future writers, directors, and personalities. And now, join our host, Serena Brown, to meet the next new director.
Thank you for joining us for today's edition of The New Directors. All of the people involved with this program are students in the television production course and are directing, switching, controlling audio, operating cameras, and acting as talent. Our guest today is an NCC student in the film and TV production course. He has had a long career as a civil engineer, having worked on many projects in the U.S. and overseas. We will share some of the experiences he had in connection with his work. Now I would like you to meet today's guest, Ted Spool.
Thank you for inviting me.
You're welcome. Reviewing the many projects that you were involved with, describe the one you considered to be the most interesting.
Well, in the year 2000, I was working for a consulting engineering firm, and they were contracted to design the roof for a soccer stadium in Shanghai. Well, after it was constructed, the owner wanted me to go out and inspect the roof to make sure it was built according to the design. So I received a first-class ticket to Shanghai, and I was to stay at the local Hilton there. I was able to trade in the first-class tickets for 2 coach tickets, so therefore my wife was able to join me. Well, when we first got out there, I met the engineers and was able to do a quick inspection. Then we had a lot of time to go see Shanghai. Now, this is the Bund that you're looking at now, and this is Pudong, which is the new downtown. We were able to tour and do shopping in all these areas. And then we took a side trip, a one-day trip to Suzhou. And this is a typical garden in Suzhou, and many gardens are copied of this, the ones that you might see in the US even. And then we were able to take a 2-day trip to Hangzhou, which was the favorite resort for Mao Zedong. It was a beautiful lake, and this is a typical scene you're looking at. We stayed at a hotel just next to the lake. We got up at 7 o'clock in the morning, and we see these people doing Tai Chi, I guess for exercise and stretching. And these were mostly senior citizens. But right next to them, you had younger people doing Western-style dancing, waltzes and foxtrot, I suppose also for exercise. Who would do that at 7 o'clock in the morning? I don't know. And then on the way home, we were able to stop in Hong Kong. And we spent about 4 days there, and that's a whole different scene. That's since England had controlled it for hundreds of years, it's very westernized. And there wasn't the chaos that you would see on the streets in Shanghai.
That sounds great. Could you tell us why you decided to take the TV production course?
Yeah, I belong to a retired men's group in Greenwich. And we have guest speakers every week, and they wanted these guest speakers to be televised so it can be shown on our local TV station, Channel 79. So I volunteered to do this, and I have been doing it for some months. So I thought to learn a little more about TV production would help me a lot.
Great. What are some of the most useful things you've learned in the TV production course?
Well, how to prepare a storyboard for TV production so you could plan ahead. The use of focal length to emphasize the background or foreground, whichever part you want to bring in. And of course editing, which helps you take out any unwanted sections of the tape. And of course adding titles and audio was a big help. We did this for our fall foliage production. And of course participating in this project, it has been a big help, and I've learned a lot.
Wow. Tell us about the productions you created for the TV1 class. The Sequence, The Campus Story, Where's My Orange, and the New England Fall Project.
Well, the Sequence Story, that was our first project. That was really a learning experience, just to learn how to set up the camera. We did a basic storyboard to help us along, and we were able to locate the camera to get the best focal length for the view. This was a Dear John letter skit that I had written up, and the first chance to set the scene in this helped a lot, and we were able to direct the action in this. Now this is The Campus Story, which is a story about a student that finds out it's raining and has to come back to get his umbrella. This was a more elaborate storyboard that we did, and we were able to do many close-ups like this one, where he has trouble opening the umbrella. And of course the editing was a lot more elaborate than that. And this third one was Where Is My Orange? This production was longer and more involved, and we learned that we had to keep to one side of the so-called 180-degree line so everybody is looking in the same direction no matter at each clip. And of course, directing the action was really a challenge here. This is the Fall Foliage production, and there was really an artistic creation. No storyboard was required, but you had to do many things with the camera. You had to zoom in and zoom out to capture the fall colors. You had to defocus and refocus. And then you had to follow the rules of composition, like finding lines of grace and framing to frame in the important subjects.
Those were fun to watch. Now I know you had one project that you felt was your best. Tell us about it and then we'll watch the video.
Yeah, the Fall Foliage I think was my best project. It was creative in a sense, so you weren't held to anything that was set in stone. Of course, the editing was a lot more difficult. It was a challenge, but also interesting, and we were able to add music and titles to it.
After learning how to shoot and edit these projects, what would you like to create next?
Since I'm working with the Channel 79 in Greenwich, I thought I would like to create, say, pedestrian interviews on our main street. Ask them local questions as to what their opinion is on local issues. And then, of course, televising events like parades and art exhibits, and we even have a sand castle contest on our local beach there in the summer. Now, with some training, I'm hoping maybe we'd be able to even televise local sport events.
Great. Today we were able to meet someone who shared with us one of his interesting job experiences, a visit to Shanghai. He showed us how a business trip can be turned into an interesting adventure. As a new TV director, he hopes to apply what he has learned at NCC to document other experiences. He also plans to use the new knowledge from Television One to edit videos in the future. We would like to thank Ted for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. We hope you enjoyed meeting one of television's future directors, and we hope you will continue to join us each week to watch our progress. Thank you and have a great day.
This has been The New Director with your host, Serena Brown. Directed by Gabe Petrillo. I'm I'm your announcer, Janelle Cook. The New Directors is a Norwalk Community College student production.